Trying something a little bit different out today, not specifically book related, but this is my January favourites. Hi everybody, it's Lydia here. So first up on my January favourites, I'm going to get the book out of the way because I've already mentioned it a number of times. My favourite book this month was Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. You can watch my review of that by clicking here. Second favourite of the month was The West Wing. I've watched this a million times before, but I am rewatching it at the moment and I'm falling in love with it all over again. If you've never watched this series, honestly, for me it's one of the best series that has been on TV in the past few decades, especially in the early seasons. It was so well written, and even though I'm not American and this isn't about my government, I still found it really interesting, and it's so funny, it's so clever, and the characters are all just so well written. The acting is amazing, it's beautifully filmed. Everything about this show honestly is brilliant. I'm watching it, I think this is probably my third or fourth rewatch, and it's one of those shows that I find every single time I rewatch it I like a different character more for different reasons. This time I'm really loving Ainsley Hayes. When I first watched this series, I don't think I really liked her very much. She's just such an interesting character, and I think my favourite thing about her is the fact that she highlights the fact that the group of people in this government aren't perfect. Not everything that they campaign for is questionably the right thing, and she kind of keeps them balanced in a way and really highlights that. And it's just a really interesting dynamic because there are not many shows that would be brave enough to say these are our lead characters, they're not the nicest and most brilliant people on the planet, and I think it's great. I think it's just true storytelling. Going in a completely different direction for my third favourite this month, this is Mask of Magnanimity from Lush. It is a face mask, and I only really got into Lush's face mask last year. I have very sensitive skin and I'm always really worried about setting it off. So I only tried them last year. I tried BB Seaweed and Cupcake, which I love. BB Seaweed has a weird smell, but it's very good for your skin. Cupcake has a gorgeous smell. It's chocolatey and minty and works really well. I really love it. I also tried Braised Honey. I didn't like that at all and it made my skin burn, so I won't be using that again. This, however, Mask of Magnanimity, is their first self-preserving face mask. The trouble with Lush's stuff, and I love Lush, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love their stuff, but because it is all obviously ethical and there isn't kind of preservatives in there because they want to keep it as natural as possible, some of their products do get a bit old a bit quickly, and especially with the face mask this is quite a problem. This is a couple of quid more than the other face mask, however it is self-preserving, so it lasts for 3 or 4 months as opposed to 3 or 4 weeks compared to the other ones. And what I didn't realise when I bought it, it is twice as much as well. Normally you get about half the size, if that, but this you get a whole lot more for a whole lot longer, and so that was one of the reasons why I really wanted to try it out, because I do love their face masks, but I just can't afford to keep buying them every couple of weeks, so I wanted something that lasted a bit longer. And this, honestly, I mean, I've only had it for like a month if that, but I'm really loving it at the moment. It's very minty as the name suggests, but it's, when I say it's very minty, I mean it's very minty. When you put it on your face it gets really cold, but it's so good, it works really well, and as I say, I've only had it for a few weeks, but it hasn't decreased in quality yet or anything, which by this point the other face masks do start to lose their freshness. This certainly hasn't, and I'm really loving it and I would really recommend it. Next up, again something completely different, is this scarf. This is from MacLeod and it is their new range of circle scarves. If you've ever bought anything from MacLeod, you'll know that a lot of their scarves are stringy scarves. I can't remember what the name is, but they're just basically lots of thin strips of material and just as a scarf. I don't like those kind of things. Just in general, when I buy clothes I don't want anything too faffy, and I know that if I bought one of those scarves I would just end up really tangled up. So I haven't got one of those, but I got this for Christmas and I really love it. At the moment I've got quite a lot of neck problems, and when I go out, because it's so cold at the moment, I have to wear a scarf, and this works really well. You can wear it any way you like. I'm only got it wrapped on twice at the moment. I normally wrap it around 3 times to keep it more kind of tight. You can wear it as a shawl, you could wear it as a headscarf, you could use it for all sorts of different things. It's massive and it's really soft and gorgeous, and I really recommend it. It comes in a whole range of colours, but this one suits my hair best, so that's why I've got it. My final favourite this month is actually not a physical entity. It is a radio show. It is Bridget Christies' Mind the Gap from the BBC. You can watch this on iPlayer at the moment. It's currently on its 2nd season, and I wish I'd found out about this show before because I am really enjoying it. It's basically a kind of modern comic take on feminism, and it's so great. I love this show. It's so funny. It's by this woman, unsurprisingly, called Bridget Christie, and she's just basically talking about women's lives and things that happen in women's lives and feminism in general, but in a comic way, and it's very sarcastic. The stand-up she does is great, it's very amusing, it's very on point, and she says a lot of really interesting things. She breaches a lot of topics in regards to feminism that might be controversial, but she raises a lot of controversial issues and has great kind of support for them and backs them up really well, and it's just really interesting and amusing, and I love it. That is it for my January favourites. I'll be back on Monday with my 100th booktube video. How on earth did that happen so fast? I can't quite believe it. But until then, I hope you have a good weekend, and bye!